Question 29a is dealing with safe participation in sport. You can see here, to start this question, you need to select a sport. For example, rugby league. That's all you need to do, just name the sport. Part 1 of the question for 3 marks asks, what sports policies are in place to promote safe participation in the sport you have chosen? So the two things we need to look at are the key term, which in this instance is what, which is a pretty simple instruction or pretty simple question. And of course the second thing we're looking at is the syllabus dot point that is being addressed. And in this instance you can see it is sports policies. So now if we just take an actual look at the specific syllabus, you can see here's the sports policy and the sports environment dot point, and here's the 5 different areas of that particular dot point. Now just taking a look at the marking guidelines, you can see here for 3 marks you would have needed to identify a range of sports policies to promote safe participation in a selected sport. And because it has said range, that means from a number of different areas. So you would have had to come up with examples of different areas in sport, in this particular sport, where policies are promoting safe participation. Now, because the question has just asked you to, well, the question's instruction was what, that simply means that you need to name the syllabus headings of sports policies. So you can see here are the 5 areas, as we just saw listed in the syllabus. So literally for this, you could just list these areas and that would have gotten you 3 out of 3. If you only listed 1 or maybe 2 areas, then that would have only gotten you a 1 or a 2 out of 3. If you listed 3 of the 5, that would have been sufficient to gain you 3 out of 3. Ideally, we want to have all 5 listed. Now, even though the instruction here says what, it can't hurt to write 1 or 2 sentences about each particular area, just in case in the HSC they're marking this type of question a little bit stricter than we have here for the trial. But that's pretty obvious to see these 5 areas. Some people didn't list these syllabus areas. You went straight to the examples, which is okay. In the context of this question, that was okay, as long as your examples came from a range, as we saw in the marking guidelines, as long as they came from a range of different areas. Okay, so not 3 examples of rules or 3 examples of modified rules, but maybe 1 from rules, 1 from matching of opponents, and 1 from use of protective equipment. Another thing to bear in mind is that the question is about sports policies. Now, policies are things that are compulsory, so suggesting that a player might wear a helmet when batting in cricket, or a forearm guard when batting in cricket, or headgear in rugby league, they're just suggestions for safe participation. They are not policies. For something to be a policy, it has to be compulsory. So you make sure when in your answer you specify that it is a specific policy, something that's compulsory. Overall, this question was pretty well done, as I would expect for a 3 marker.